I run a cold email agency, and to be honest with you, AI does 90% of the heavy lifting. Not just the strategizing, but the actual grunt work. What used to eat at my whole week is now all delegated with AI. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 jobs that I handed over to Claude, and by the end of the video, you'll probably find yourself using them too. Real quick, I'm Anthony. I run Velocity Flow. We're a B2B lead gen agency. We've sent over 100,000 emails on our behalf and on our clients' behalf, and we've booked over hundreds of meetings, not just for ourselves, but for our clients as well. So this isn't just theory. This is the machine that I actually run every single day. All right, so let's get into it. Now, let me walk you through what it would look like to actually scrape a list manually. So you're going to have to go into something like AI Arc, Apollo. We use AI Arc. You would have to come over here to the company, to the filter tab, and you're going to have to mess with all these filters and continue to go back and forth until you actually find a list that you feel like is actually good enough and that's within your ICP. Now, I kid you not, I've literally spent 3, 4, even 5 hours at a time going through and trying to work on filters. Now, those 3, 4, 5 hours you can be spending on other activities within the business and handing this off to Claude. So Claude is essentially going to go in here and it's going to do the scrape for you. You're just going to let it know what filters you want and what exactly it is that you're looking for. Now, the second step would be bringing the list into MillionVerifier if you were doing this manually. So manually, what it would look like is you would scrape the list from AI Arc, from Apollo. You would then bring that CSV, you would bring it into MillionVerifier and you would verify it yourself. Versus you could also tell Claude to verify it for you. So while you're doing something else for the business, Claude in the background is going to scrape the list for you. It's going to go ahead and bring the list over to MillionVerifier and actually verify the list for you as well. And it's also going to make sure that the list, before it even verifies the emails, it's going to make sure that the list is all within your ICP. Now, to have Claude verify your emails as well, super simple. You just need to plug in your API key from MillionVerifier. So now you're going to go into Claude and you're going to say something along the lines of, hey, can you go ahead and do a scrape for me off of AI Arc? I need you to also verify the ICPs, and I also need you to run those emails through MillionVerifier. I want staffing and recruiting firms anywhere from 1 to 50 for the employee size, all within the United States. Now, you're simply just going to go ahead and send that. Now, for the sake of the video, I'm only going to have it do 10. Now, if you could only do 10 for the sake of this YouTube video. So as you see, Claude is actually running everything and I don't have to touch anything. Everything is very hands off. Now, the second thing that you can have Claude do is a personalization on the email as well. As you see here, this is going to be Clay. This is what we used to use to personalize the emails, which would actually take longer and it's actually way more expensive. So as you see here, Clay has an AI already built into it that goes through and does the personalization, but it's much easier to do it on Claude is what we found. Now, as you see here as an example, these are 5 prospects that Claude actually went onto AIR, did the scrape, verified the ICP, and also verified the email. Now, instead of having to do the personalization in Clay, just as I showed you, you can simply come over here and have Claude do it. Hey, so I want you to write a first line personalization for each one of these companies. I want you to go scan their website and reference either their top case study or their primary service. Now, as you see here, Claude actually went through the website and actually wrote a personalization for every single prospect. So now that we have our leads scraped, our emails verified, and the first line personalized, the next thing is going to be writing the copy. Now, Claude actually takes care of that too. Now, just to make it easier for you, I'm just going to go ahead and actually drop all the skills that we went over in the description so you can plug them into your Claude. For example, all I have to do in Claude is /copy, and it's going to go ahead and actually write high converting ad copy for me. It's going to give me different examples, what things look like, and I can kind of go through and tweak it depending on what I want. All right, so now it just gave us back our copy, and there's a couple of different angles that we're going to test. So we have the curiosity led, which is the personalized hook first, and then the offer second. We have the direct offer, which is just skipping the picture and then open up with if we could, and then we have the pain plus proof. So you're going to lead with the prospect's pain, then the offer, and then honest PS. So it gave me different variants, so pretty valid. Of course, obviously you could just kind of go through and mess with it if there's something you don't like. So now we've scraped the list, we've verified the emails, we personalized the first line, and we've written the copy. Now, that's something that used to take me hours to do, and now we just had Claude do it in a couple minutes. Now, number 4 is turning replies into book meetings. I actually had Claude build out this entire system for me, as you see here. Now, essentially what this does here, when an email comes in, it goes to Prospero and tries to find a number for that email so that we can go ahead and dial them immediately. And I had Claude build out the entire thing. Super simple there. Again, all you're going to need is the API key. So the API key for whatever sequencer you use, and then the API key for Prospero as well. Now, at this point, Claude has literally handled the entire outbound process. It built you the list, it verified the emails, it verified the ICP, it wrote the first line personalization, it wrote the copy, it also set up sequences so that you're able to respond to these emails as fast as possible and actually book meetings. And lastly, you can also have it check on your campaign. So that's super simple. You just plug in the API key from whatever sequencer you use, +5, smart lead, whatever it is, you just plug in the API key. You simply ask Claude to give you a rundown on your campaigns and what the data looks like and what you can improve on. So those are the 5 things that you can have Claude do so that you can actually free up more of your time. And instead of spending hours and hours building lead lists and actually focusing on outbound, you could focus on scaling your agency and actually helping clients get results as well. Now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and drop the exact skill in the description below so you can go ahead and check it out for yourself. Now, if this was valuable for you in any way, feel free to follow. I post cold email content weekly. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll also have my Instagram and my personal YouTube channel down below. For my personal YouTube channel, I'm trying to do like daily vlogs also, so you can kind of see what the day in the life looks like building our agency. But other than that, you have a good one. Peace.